After making a number of Screenbar reviews, I found out that many don't fulfill their intended purpose. But after watching over 100 videos, I have yet to find someone who would actually test them. So I thought about it, and I guess light meters must be racist, because what other reason can there be that people avoid it like the plague, since you can get one for like $10, and some of these reviewers are flaunting Rolexes, Teslas, and prestigious credit cards. Hi, name's Alex, and ever since I was a small kid, I was told, be the change you want to see. And that's actually the reason I started this channel. Short and informative reviews, where I actually use the product and try to test it, well, to the best of my ability. And while Banky is busy sending out Screenbars to e-girls whose whole personality revolves around a single color, which I can fully understand. For once, pink is one of my favorite colors, and if Sims are buying out bathwater, I guess it's a viable market strategy, if they're actually real. On the other hand, Quntis, sent the only person that seems to care about testing, me, their whole lineup. And you should probably mention how you pronounce the brand name. A bare bones, more premium, and a laptop version. I started testing by no-lifing Synergy's private Wrath of the Lich King server, #fresh. As really there's nothing better as sleepless nights and aging eyes to get some first impressions. As they finally received an answer from BenQ. No, they're not sending me their Screenbar, unfortunately. Well, they at least answered my question about the automatic light adjustment sensor feature, which unfortunately I lost in the 2 months of testing thanks to YouTube's comment system. But these guys have the same thing. You see this? There's only one sensor, and it's pointed upwards. Monitors, as you know, can look widely different. Aspect ratio, screen size, and so on. And when dealing with light, even a small difference can have a pretty noticeable impact. Yeelight has a Pro Test light which has 2 sensors. Ironically, this feature is not included in their Screenbar Pro. Instead, we get some RGBs. So professional. So I also decided to research monitor heights, starting from the small 19-inch that you can find not only in some old office, but they are actually still produced to this day, followed by, arguably, the most popular among serious gamers, 24-inch. Then I stepped up to 27-inch monitors that are becoming the norm these days, finishing up with some seriously big beasts like this 49-inch Samsung. If you don't drive but still need a way to compensate. But before you rush out to buy Behemoth or 2, hopefully using one of my affiliate links, I really have to remind you about ergonomics. While popping pills might sound cool in songs, it won't make you Dr. House. So unless you're a giraffe, my 40, 50, 60 centimeter test should cover most people's needs. And if you are, I don't discriminate. This is the size of my 27-inch vertically positioned monitor. So let's do 75. I guess that should cover even basketball players. And to do that, I recreated a typical desk setup in a way that would let me easily adjust and measure the results using light meters, high precision lasers, and well, some less impressive yet effective devices. And while the angle plays a huge role, you can only really adjust the Pro version for up to 30 degrees. The normal version adjustments are far too radical. Unless, let's try using it as a webcam light. So here you are working at your desktop and then you get a Zoom call or Discord or whatever. Boom! How does it look? And this is not even the brightest. This is maximum, but it's like blinding. Alright, same deal with your room lights on. Boom. Did the quality improve? Screenbar on. Screenbar off. As I said, I'm testing for noise, not image quality. I actually used some 720p footage too, because that's exactly what you're getting for buying Apple outdated storage, chargers, or in this case, webcams. MacBooks and iMacs, until this very year's upgrade, would feature a hopelessly outdated 720p camera that can still be found in the M1 Airs. But seriously, 720p in 2021, much innovation. So if a webcam light is on your wish list, this is actually the minimum brightness. Interestingly enough, no one seems to be capitalizing on such a feature, not even these guys themselves. It's not listed as a feature, and it's only available in the normal version. So let's cover the differences between versions. But first, I'll remind you to subscribe not to miss the separate laptop Screenbar review. The more affordable, normal version, well, at least if you're buying on Amazon, for some reason is the pricier option on the official website, only comes in one size, while you can get the Pro in an extra large version for bigger screens. But as my previous test has shown, it's more about aesthetics if you're not covering your whole table of notes. The normal version provides 3 color temperatures: warm, cold, and a mix of both, while the Pro adds an extra one for you to choose from. And here is a rough comparison. Same brightness setting, cycling through different color temperatures. And honestly, to make it fair, I should have matched the outputs, but no one's going to be doing that in real life anyways. My tests are about real life scenarios and not lab manufactured results, since the normal one has 10 brightness settings while the Pro only 4. And the difference in brightness also changes with color temperature. I just wanted to give you an idea. Cameras struggle to show what we really see, but there is indeed a dramatic difference between the Pro and normal. While in real life it'll look a bit more powerful, it's not bright enough to be used for any real work, and yet it's too much to act as your nightlight in a pitch dark room. Personally, I call it display mode, showcasing my desk setup, overpriced keyboard, and artisan keycaps. But a word of warning, if you have an older keyboard, or well, any keyboard with ABS keycaps, over time they tend to develop shine. And for me personally, I finally had an excuse to go Blackpink! Monitor stands and bezels might also be an issue if you have ADHD or just don't like reflections. I fixed it by getting a monitor arm and hot glued a rail, which not only removed the reflections, but lets me add additional accessories. But what is bright enough? For mostly screen-based tasks, scientifically speaking, 300 lux, and 500 if you plan on reading a book or do some substantial writing. This gives you more performance and less eye strain. The normal blasts away at 40 and 50 centimeters, even in a fully dark room that I tested in, with the screen bar as the only source of light. Obviously, in real life, you'll have your monitor providing some sort of illumination, and hopefully ambient light too. Otherwise, you're doing it wrong. And this actually makes the Helix RGBs somewhat useful. BenQ also just released a new version that has ambient light. And while the idea is noble at heart, just like donating to a charity for kids, firefighters, or say breast cancer, the results are questionable. Well, maybe if you have a small monitor, but still, you get that ugly hotspot. Or in the case for Susan's For the Cure, that will happily promote your carcinogenic product while simultaneously trying to monopolize the color pink, and a common phrase they recently picked up themselves, taking those who are fighting the fight on their side to court, instead of, trying to find a cure. Hell, they might even spend more money on that than on research, with only 10-20% going into it. And they're not alone. So getting an LED strip, a Philips Hue alternative, or donating to me might be more worth your money. But even in pitch darkness, at 60 centimeters, you still have the freedom of using any color temperature. While at 75, you will have to use the mix. The Pro is pretty much close at 40-50 and more powerful at 60 and 75 due to the ability of choosing just the right angle. But what I really was excited for was a Pro exclusive feature. And no, it's not the touch controls, which do indeed make it more convenient than the wired controller found on the normal, but the auto dimming feature. Finally, I got to play with it, as no one actually cared to test it. And it's useful. Works by adjusting the lamp to a set brightness based on how much ambient light hits the sensor on top. So while it doesn't know how bright or how far your surface is, if previously measured, you can still have a general idea about it. But it's not in the manual or the website, so you'll have to buy a light meter, which is actually a pretty good idea. But if you do, splurge on the one I'm using, as it can also measure PWM. You see, most digital devices control the brightness by rapidly turning on and off. So if you wanted 70% brightness on your TV, it would be on for 70% of the time and off for 30%. But it has to be done fast, so our brain doesn't actually see it being off. And if it's not doing it super fast, well, it still tricks your brain. You might experience nausea, eye strain, headaches, and even possibly seizures. And these problems might occur not only in cheap laptops or light bulbs, but expensive TVs or your brand new Samsung or iPhone. Since I read a lot of light novels from my phone, I made sure to grab one that doesn't melt my brain or eyes. I'll also be making a review of this nifty accessory, and I already have a video about a less functional but ultra thin version. But yeah, different bulbs from the same manufacturer might have different PVM readings. It actually can change, so checking once a month is a good idea. If your health and 10% productivity is worth $100 and a little hassle, the link will be waiting for you in the description. And a review soon-ish. And just like my other tests, it was conducted in a pitch dark room at a realistic angle and distance. Most likely, you'll be using the third or the fourth setting. Besides this convenient feature, which alone might be enough of a reason to go for the Pro, the mounting options differ. The normal, again, is limited in comparison with how the counterweight functions, and you can only fit from 0 to 3 centimeters. Both the Pros seem to have the same min, max, but differ by the amount of spacers provided. 2 for the small, 1 for the big. But you can always add something like furniture pads if needed. Be warned though, ultra thin and bezel-less monitors might not enjoy the added weight. And as per my tests, the larger one that I have can actually fit a bit more than advertised. Maybe a few more millimeters if you take away the protective rubbers. The counterweight design is something I wish Yeelite would do, as I have a high position VESA blade, but here, no problem. It can be turned, so simple, yet effective. But yeah, actually check the width of your monitor, as you might not even have the luxury of choice, even if it does fit. The last straw. Let's see if it breaks the camel's back. Power sources. I tried USB 2.0, USB 3.0, quick charge, and high powered adapters, and they gave significantly different readings on the normal. That on the Pro looked identical. And unless you already have a good power brick, it might actually cover the difference in price. Sure, you might lose extra brightness presets, and even that is only half true. You can fine-tune the Pro's brightness by holding it for 3 seconds, but unfortunately it cannot be saved as a preset. If they add that and an extra light sensor, it would be a full package. But even now, I'm tempted to ditch my Wi-Fi enabled Yeelite to have less stuff on my desk, and I just find it more aesthetically pleasing. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, as no one else will spend months testing 600 angles and settings. See ya!